here, and it's time for more Otaku Evolution. Be sure to like, subscribe, and contribute to my Patreon. Well, the Macross franchise is finally beginning to get out from under the thumb of Harmony Gold, and that's great, but for some reason it doesn't seem to include the original TV series, Super Dimension Fortress Macross. The legal battle over the rights to Macross would make an interesting video on its own, but I really want to concentrate on talking about the series itself here. Hopefully, one day we'll get an English-language Blu-ray release for it. The original 36-episode series Super Dimension Fortress Macross debuted in 1982. It was created by Studio Nue, based on an initial concept by then-newcomer Shoji Kawamori. It was directed by one of my favorites, Noboru Ishiguro. There was some argument over the tone the series would take, with it settling into more of a drama with some occasional lightheartedness to it. It proved extremely popular on television and received an extension of episodes from the planned number of 27, and it shows. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Mike, isn't this show called Robotech? To which I answer, boy, do I have conflicting feelings about Carl Macek. Yeah, Macross was joined with Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross and Genesis Climber Mospeda to create Robotech. And that's the last time I will mention Robotech in this video. This video is about Macross, damn it. The background of the story is that an unmanned alien spacecraft landed on an island one day, and humankind united to tackle the potential threat of alien invasion. But there were a lot of conflicts that broke out that came to be known as the Unification Wars. After the wars ended, things settled, and a city was built around the refurbished ship, which was named Macross. 10 years after the Macross's arrival, UN Spacey, the world government's military, holds a ceremony for the launch of the ship, but things take a turn when they accidentally activate a booby trap system on the ship that fires its main gun into space. This attracts the attention of the alien Zentradi, a warrior race that fights an endless war against all others. The Macross launches and uses its experimental teleportation system, the Fold system, but it works a little too well and teleports both the Macross and the island to the other side of the solar system. The city is rebuilt within the Macross, but the ship is constantly harassed and attacked by the Zentradi on its way back to Earth. Hijinks ensue.
So that's what they meant by transformation.
Our main character is Hikaru Ichijo, who started flying planes for air shows, but after a spell is convinced to join UN Spacey and become a fighter pilot. He's either the luckiest or the unluckiest pilot, because he manages to wreck a few Valkyrie fighters, which by the way transform into mecha, but always manages to survive. He's not the best pilot, but he has plenty of skill and guts, even if he can be a bit prickly and moody at times. Honestly, he's not even in the top 5 characters of the show, and I think he's a bit bland, but he has his moments.
Here.
Thanks. Seeing you act like this almost seems surreal. I'm sorry. Let's just put it down to memories.
It's okay. With the kind of life we live, you have to have someone to pin your heart on.
I guess so.
Hikaru's senpai, Roy Fokker, is a much more enticing character. Like Hikaru, he was a stunt pilot, but he enlisted in the military during the Unification Wars and became a skilled veteran who once shot down 5 fighters while hungover. He was once a bit of a womanizer, but he paired off with an officer named Claudia LaSalle. He loves to tease Hikaru, but is also encouraging and thoughtful, even though he's no intellectual. Apparently he can also play the guitar, but you know what? I'll try not to spoil everything. But the pineapple salad episode of the show is one of the finest half hours of anime I've ever seen. Anyway, Roy Fokker's damn cool.
Senpai, It's about girls. Can a girl change overnight?
Huh? Can she do what?
Can a girl do a 180 inversion from how she was the day before? You don't have to laugh at me!
If you're at all familiar with this show or the franchise, you've probably been waiting for me to talk about the original anime idol, Lynn Minmay. Minmay. What can I say about her? She's charming, she's coquettish, and she can both sing and act. Voiced by singer Mari Iijima, then a relative neophyte, she lends Minmay a sense of bubbly energy that makes her a compelling character. But Minmay is also a bit naive, can be accidentally insensitive, and a little self-centered. This is why her relationship with Hikaru is so complicated. She remains blithely ignorant of Hikaru's feelings throughout the show until basically the end of the main story. But hey, her bubblegum pop songs are airy and sweet, and that's enough to cause a huge swath of an enormous warrior race, both in numbers and physical size, to tremble with confusion and swoon with delight. It ties into the prominent theme of the show, and indeed of the franchise, the effects of culture shock. They're low-key bops, but bops nevertheless. Assisting Captain Global on the bridge of the Macross, Misa Hayase is another part of the love triangle that both Hikaru and Minmay are also in. Misa starts off not very impressed by the inexperienced Hikaru, but after several incidents in which the two bond, they find themselves thinking of each other. Claudia is a Hikaru-Misa shipper and encourages the relationship. But Misa has to overcome her feelings for her past love, Ryber, who died before the story began. Misa is usually a competent, no-nonsense officer, but she's not so obsessed with duty that she can't reflect on herself.
When I was in grade school, all I ever wanted to be was a soldier. To do my duty.
You were first in your class at the academy, weren't you?
Who told you that?
Everyone. All the senior pilots say Miss Top of our class is scarier than a demon.
Huh? I see. So that's what Claudia's implying when she teases me about my lack of success with men. Yase, you were top in your class. Can't you figure it out? Really?
Let me clue you in on something. None of these characters mean dick in comparison to the real main character of Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Maximilian Genius. Ah, Max, you are a king among men. No, higher than a king. What's higher than a king in cards? An ace. And who's more of an ace than Max? Nobody is who. Damn, this man is awesome, handsome, Sho Hayame playing him in Japanese, a gentleman, and a total badass in battle. Shit, he's even great at video games and knife fights. I only wish I could tell you about his other conquests, but again, I don't want to spoil everything.
Still, I'm kind of surprised, sir. I could have sworn you were already going steady, and I didn't think you were into older women.
Ah, give me a break!
It was just part of our plan to escape.
Don't worry. If we make it back to the Macross, I won't tell anyone about the two of you.
That's not it at all!
If you yell, they'll be sure to find us. Okay, here we go!
But on the opposite of the awesome spectrum is Minmay's cousin, Lin Kaifun. Kaifun. Kaifun is a fucking douchebag. He's this military-hating so-called pacifist that just happens to be proficient in kung fu. Minmay loves him dearly, but doesn't realize he has designs to Sweet Home Alabama with her. I mean, look, he kind of makes a few good points about war here and there, but he acts like an ass even when he gets his way. He comes off as being a straw man of peace activists. An insulting one. Dude, if you're gonna bone down on your own cousin, at least have the courtesy to do it in private. Have a little class.
Kaifun, you really haven't proposed to her?
That's correct.
Oh, come on, will ya? I'm just not buying it.
There are no plans, but
But?
I have to admit that marrying Minmay is something that I wouldn't be terribly adverse to.
Stop. You're always joking.
Okay,
What are you talking about, Shelbyville? Why would we want to marry our cousins?
Because they're so attractive. I thought that was the whole point of this journey.
Absolutely not.
I tell you, I won't live in a town that robs men of the right to marry their cousins.
Then we have the Zentradi. As I said, the Zentradi are a warrior race. They're also giants, which necessitated the building of mecha to fight them. They have no real culture, putting all their effort into fighting wars. The male Zentradi live and even fight separately from the female Zentradi, usually. Their leader is this giant-headed cue-ball named Goldbottle Zur, who commands the enormous main fleet. Most of the time, though, the Macross has to deal with an officer named Britai, who is a total badass who can survive in space, and his archivist Exodal, who spend much of the show trying to figure out who the small people are. The Zentradi spend a lot of their time toying with the Macross, since they could quite easily wipe it out if they deployed their full complement of ships. The thing is, they find mankind fascinating and frightening.
Just do it.
Okay, fine.
Here goes.
I'm sorry, Minmay.
Protoculture.
As the story unfolds, the Zentradi and Britai's fleet become obsessed with human culture, and Minmay in particular. 3 micronized Zentradi soldiers act as spies on the Macross, and find themselves completely unprepared to deal with a culture shock. But they remain endlessly fascinated and moved by the things humans do, passing along what they've learned to others, and the mysterious human culture spreads. Ultimately, it's human culture that becomes the Macross's, and by extension mankind's, greatest weapon against their alien nemesis.
Hey, you want to hear a real song, don't you?
I do, but then help us. I'll give you this and the doll and everything. Everything?
The characterization of individuals in Zentradi is a little thin, owing to the homogeneous non-culture of the race, which makes interesting commentary but isn't great for a story. Macross is far from perfect, folks. But hey, at least it wrapped up in 27 episodes, and they didn't drag it out unnecessarily. Oh, right, they did. After the story was basically over, there were 9 extra episodes about the aftermath of the war. Completely superfluous episodes that wound that characterization just to wring a little extra drama out of the love triangle. Just terrible. I usually skip this stretch of episodes because they're largely a waste of time.
I'm glad to see you're all right.
Thanks to you. Good work up there.
It's my job. But thanks.
You know, I think I'll try a city I've never been before. I'm going to try singing somewhere else. And I'm never going to think about quitting.
If that's what you want.
And as you probably noticed, the English dub is fucking terrible! Seriously, why can't Macross get one good English dub? But I guess it's not really a complaint about the show itself. Super Dimension Fortress Macross has a bit of a pacing problem, and the villains are kind of one note, but it's full of energy and has some legitimately good drama and social commentary. Plus you have Minmay's songs, which are a fun kind of dumb. The incidental music is no slouch either, thanks to Kentaro Haneda. I could go on about different things, but I don't feel like spoiling everything for people new to it. I'm not sure how you'd go about watching this legally, though. It used to stream on Amazon, but now you have to scour eBay for out-of-print DVDs. There are other avenues, though. Watch it. It may not rank among my top 30, but it's a pretty influential and important anime. Anyway, that's enough about Macross for now. Maybe one day another Macross show will be dubbed and I can review that. Next time on Otaku Evolution, we revisit the Ghost in the Shell franchise. Until then, see ya!